What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Tatum Show. Make them say coon. Na. Master P out here getting called a coon like me. Enes Cantor gets kicked out of WNBA game for supporting women, which is insane to me. And before we get to any of that, we're going to talk about Carmelo Anthony's retrial being denied. And I'd like to say, I told y'all so. Welcome to the Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the members. Thank you all for joining the membership program. Because of you, we're able to do all this incredible stuff and do things outside of the normal YouTube routine. And so I appreciate every single one of you guys, some that have joined and those who have been members for a very, very long time. Also, make sure that I see you here at my Fish House event in Florida. It is September the 16th and 17th. It's a 2-day event. The first day is going to be a bourbon tasting and 5-course meal. And it's interesting how they're going to incorporate the bourbon into the food, which is absolutely amazing. Then the second night is going to be more of the Tatum Show brought to you. I'll be there. I'll talk about all the things that you guys normally hear me talk about. I'll do some Q&A, some meet and greet. We're going to have an incredible time. This is my first event, so let's show out and show up so I can do this all around the country. This is our first measurement on how well events will do. All right, let's get into Carmelo Anthony. I told you guys before, and it's not because I'm a genius. It's because I was a police officer, and I did this for a living. I think people forget that. And it doesn't matter. People criticize me and say, you were only in for 6 years, 6.5 years. 6.5 years as a police officer is a lot of time, especially in Tucson, Arizona, where we got, 1,000 calls for service a day. It's significant, okay? I have significant exposure to investigations. I investigated murders all the way to kidnapping. We had some cases that made world news. With the Sophia Richter case that I was the first responding officer to. So I've been there, done that, and I was trained by guys with 20, 30 years on the police department. So with that being said, I have experience enough to know that Carmelo Anthony was going to be found guilty because he had no reasonable defense of self-defense. He had no reasonable, I won't say reasonable. If there was no reasonableness to him taking a knife and stabbing somebody in the chest when that person did not display as a deadly force situation or a deadly threat to him. It was a young man who was making poor decisions, living that lifestyle, trying to be hood and trying to be gangster, trying to bring a gun to school. I'm going to stab people. I'm going to do all this. It was terrible. And Austin Metcalf, was a troubled kid too. I think some of the stuff he did was ridiculous. But let's get to some of this new clip of his new trial. Y'all remember when they were out there crying, we got a victory, Carmelo, we got a victory. Justice is served. We got the judge to recuse himself. I told y'all, a recusal don't mean you automatically obscure the law or skirt the law. Recusal means that another qualified judge is going to look at this and have to make a true evaluation. Roll the clip.
A judge in Texas has now ruled that 19-year-old Carmelo Anthony will not get a new trial after he was convicted of stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf to death back in June. Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison. Let's go now to Max Gordon for the latest developments. Max, this seems like big news. What do you have for us?
Hey there. Well, the new judge in this case, retired District Judge Michael Chitty, had until Monday to make a ruling, but it is now being reported that he has ruled before that deadline, denying a retrial in this case. Now, this comes after the original judge in Anthony's murder trial was removed from proceedings. That judge, Judge John Roach, said after the trial during a TV interview that the jury, quote, got it right when they delivered a guilty verdict, and there were questions about his impartiality. Anthony, now 19, was convicted in June of stabbing and killing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during an altercation at a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. A Collin County jury sentenced Anthony to 35 years in prison. At the center of this new trial hearing is a verbal agreement between Anthony's original defense team and prosecutors to keep certain character evidence about both sides from the jury. Now, at the time the agreement was made to keep from further inflaming the case, which was already boiling over with racial tensions and death threats, but during this retrial hearing, that evidence was being discussed, and that included allegations that Metcalf had used racial slurs in the past and bullied black classmates. And it also included violent texts from Anthony, including one which read, "When I stab SB, I'm gonna lick their blood off the blade." So some disturbing stuff right now, right there. But again,
All right.
Anthony's...
I think y'all heard enough. Let me just explain why this makes sense in the court of law. It's very clear. Outside behavior that wasn't directly associated with the incident that occurred that day is not reasonable. It's not going to sway the facts of the case. Because Austin Metcalf said some racist stuff and probably was an idiotic kid with a bad temper, it doesn't weigh if he wasn't acting on that the day of the incident. And Carmelo Anthony being a nut job and threatening to kill people, it really doesn't matter. Because if he didn't exercise the threats that he had previously made on that day, it doesn't matter. Now, on that day, we see that there was an argument and Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf. That's all you need to know. There was no real self-defense. Austin Metcalf did not have a weapon. It was unreasonable to take a knife and stab it through the heart of a kid that wasn't even being violent with him. That the facts of that case has been laid out, regardless of how much of a D-bag both of these kids were, is irrelevant to the incident that occurred that day. All right. I got a couple more activist things, and then we got to move on to Master P. I got to make them say, some of y'all don't know Master P if you don't know that. All right, let's play this clip. Some people were upset about this Carmelo Anthony. You know who wrote a clip.
The new judge in the Carmelo Anthony case has denied his appeal for a new trial, even knowing that the jury was not reflective of anyone that looked like Carmelo Anthony. Even after knowing that the gentleman's agreement that essentially didn't allow evidence that was important in the trial of Austin Metcalf being absolutely blatantly racist and problematic was not able to be presented, and it needed to be, and Carmelo Anthony was not allowed to testify on his own behalf.
All right, stop. You already know this juicy head weirdo is biased. Because why did he talk about Austin Metcalf's behavior but didn't talk about Carmelo Anthony's behavior, which at one point Carmelo Anthony brought a gun to school and said when he stabbed somebody, he's going to lick the blood off a knife. He ended up stabbing and killing somebody. I mean, if you're going to be real, you got to be real across the board. All right, we had another one. Here's another meltdown. Roll it.
And right off the bat, man, free Carmelo. Straight up. Straight up. I don't give a about no white lives. All lives don't matter over here. Because on the daily,
there's enough. We've heard enough. We know, and I'm telling you, y'all, there's a good number of black people who think like this. This is not one off. This is not. It may be a minority, but it's still a lot of people that think like this about Carmelo Anthony. He raised like $1 million. People are still today saying that justice for him. Roll the clip.
We here standing on business. Y'all know what that means. It's self-explanatory. Carmelo had the right to defend himself. That's right. He was aggressed upon. He was surrounded. It was crooked from the beginning. That's right. The last time we was here, we said that all white jury wasn't right. Was illegal. The last time we here, we said them not letting the court open to the public was illegal.
Right. Enough of that. She said she's standing on business. You standing on some steel legs, because that's a lot of stuff on the top there. Anyway, Master P, make him say, come on, bring him on the thing. Master P said the same thing that I have been saying for the last 8 years. Master P have received love from the community. And when a brother decide to wake up black people and say, y'all, we doing this wrong. Y'all, we gotta stop focusing on race. Y'all, we gotta stop focusing on slavery. There's opportunities to be had, and we missing them as a community because we still worry about stuff that don't make no sense. And Master P is one of the biggest entrepreneurs in American history. That dude is a grinder, hustler. Turn that rap music, flipped it. He make cereal. He doing all kind of stuff. But they don't want to listen to this brother. They call him an Uncle Tom Coon bootlicker. Roll the clip.
Somebody look like us, say, hey, how come we don't own our own tennis shoe when Nike started out of their garage? Like, Phil Knight started out of his garage. And I tell people all the time, look, it's not about a color. Like, think about it. Even though when I help black-owned business, I'm doing that because we at the bottom of the totem pole. But we want to create product for everybody. This product is for everybody, blacks, white, Asian, Latino. But it don't have too many black-owned companies. Like, show me how many black-owned tennis shoe companies out there that's making functional shoes that actually own it. It's not that many. It's a problem.
Yeah.
So when I find a problem, you know, my passion get like, I need to do this. I got to show the world. In the food industry, I realized that we didn't have enough healthy alternative foods for us. So I found a problem. I created Miller Family Food. I said, well, you know, I got to make healthy alternative food, snacks, everything.
Is that based out of New Orleans?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so I was inspired by going to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And, you know, in the Black Wall Street, 1920, what happened to our people. And it's like you had so many successful, rich black people, and it was burned down. But I met this guy that owned a grocery store called Oasis.
A.J. Johnson.
Yes. Yeah. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put my food in your grocery store, and I'm going to support you. We support all these other companies, but why not support Oasis and AJ?
Come on, next clip. I heard nothing wrong here. Roll it.
He's doing good stuff in the community, and what you know about that store, as I've been down there, is that the predominantly of that area that's white is poor individuals, who, you know, and so I love the work that he's doing. But when you think about, again, being yourself, what's been the biggest surprise of the stardom? I mean, you've been in this game for a very, very long time. What's been the biggest surprise about it all?
Our own culture don't believe that we could do it, you know, because they just don't get it. They're like, how you could do this? I mean, like, if I could do it, anybody could do it. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You just got to have integrity and do good business. And these doors will open up for you, building great relationships. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, trying to get that negative mindset out of our culture, because they still going back to, oh man, slavery, they did us this. And I'm like, you still harping on that, man. I never harped on that, because I can't change the past, but I can change the future. And I think you got to get used to us being successful. And I think a lot of us, we block our own blessings because we don't think that we could do it because we're looking at a color. So, I mean, Muhammad Ali was a guy that, and I loved, like, his story, because he didn't care about that. He just wanted to be around good people, but he did represent for the culture. Right. And I want more African-American owned tennis shoe companies. I don't want this just to be me. I want so many different product brands owned by us, but making it for everybody. Because think about it, when other cultures make products, they don't make it for them, they make it for everybody. And so I want that mindset of our people. If I could change that, that's the way we're gonna bridge the wealth gap.
What's been the biggest negative surprise of it all? The biggest negative surprise of the stardom?
Our people can't work together. Think about when I go down Rodale Drive and see all these stores. They're owned by all the same kind of looking people. None of them fighting. None of them caring about what each other have or got. And I love that. I want to see that for our culture and our people. That's why I fight to educate our culture and our people, because we got to get on that page. Like, if we get on that page, we're going to be dangerous, because we spend $1 trillion a year.
2.1 trillion.
2.1 trillion. Think about it. and we don't own nothing. And we make 0.1% of black CEOs in Fortune 500 companies, but we spending all the money.
I'm running out of time, but my God, how could anybody disagree with what Master P Miller is saying? How, bruh? And do you guys understand that after he made that interview, he got so much backlash that he had to come out and make a response video? How you Neanderthals can't put two and two after P Miller, one of us? The brother came for nothing, selling dope. Made himself out to be this, and y'all mad at him for saying 2 + 2 is 4. Roll the clip. This is his response real quick, and then we got to get to Enes. Roll it.
What's up, y'all? For the ones in the back that can't hear, stop making them false narratives. I love my people. When you talk about slavery, our ancestors been through so much, and we're not going to forget it. You know what I'm saying? But what I want to tell y'all is, even though we're going to always be aware of it, but we have to do something to bridge the wealth gap. That's what I'm saying. We can't change the past, but we can change the future. And we're going to constantly fight and educate our people. But I want to let y'all know, Apple is making $32 million an hour. How do we get a piece of that? Because we need to be able to bridge the wealth gap. That's the only thing I'm saying. And that's the only way it's going to happen. We got to educate our people and educate our culture. And that's what I'm doing.
P. Miller, I'm going to say this real quick, and then we got to get to Enes. P. Miller, Master P, he literally should sell out his tennis shoe in the next week. But people mad at the brother, and he trying to put us up on game, but y'all rather be mad at him and don't even support him, but you're going to go buy Jordans at night. Well, Michael Jordan is a black man. You can go buy some Jordans, I guess, even though I think he has a piece of it. I don't know if he owned all of Nike and Jordan. But regardless of that, you know, I got some glasses called Cameos. Is a basketball player. I think Strawberry, or I forget his name. He owned that company. I bought them because I wanted to support him. And they the best glasses I've ever had in my life. You could turn it up and down right here. I saw Shaq supporting him. Anyway, I could go down the list. I wish I could talk about it forever. We got to get to Enes real quick, and then I got to bounce. I got somewhere to be. All right. Let's talk about Enes Kanter. How in the flying flip do you show up at a women's basketball game with a shirt on that says a woman is a female, or it's a human, adult human female, and women are mad at you? If you showed up and said a man can be a woman, they'll love you. If you got a transgender person playing in the league, a man playing like a woman, they love you. But a brother trying to stand up for women, they mad. Look at them. Look at them hamburger heifers. Roll the clip.
6-point basketball game.
Look at her. Time out. He will thump her and she will pass out. She would go unconscious at a thump. I wish they'd have let her fight him. To be honest, I would love to watch that. That would have been pretty interesting. I love UFC and MMA fights, and I would love to see him drop her while she running up on him like she really gonna do something. You shouldn't even be mad at the man anyway. But since you running up on him, you're not gonna do nothing. So stop playing. Roll the clip. Look at her.
Tasha Cloud.
You
and
think
right
that,
before the break, this
you
was the
think that'll
scene
be a fair
inside
thing?
Wintrust Arena after Natasha Cloud got
He's
that
bigger than
bucket.
all the girls
She
together.
wanted
Like
her
he
voice heard.
can corral all them in his arms.
We have talked about the conversations surrounding the W. That is Enes Kanter in the building today. And he has voiced how he's felt about the situation. Natasha Cloud voicing her opinion as well. Kanter was just escorted out.
All right, these women are like wasted. They wasted women. Like, that girl is kind of cute. If she wasn't doing scissors and stuff, she'd be all right. But she can't help herself, and then they're just wasting these beautiful black women that are now lesbians, and then they hate men, and it's just weird. But anyway, he gets kicked out of the game. That's that girl that's ghetto as a mother. Do we have that press conference? Let's see if we can find it real quick, but let's roll this clip. This is him getting kicked out of the game. Sound like you're getting a lot of cheers.
I'm supporting women. That is the reason that they're kicking me out. This is unacceptable. We understand. We got it. It's not about who's on the right. We just. No, I think we just said. We gotta let my sergeant talk.
You need somebody that was sitting there. Somebody that was sitting there should have an opinion on this, right?
All right, next clip.
So I played basketball in the NBA for 11 years. I mean, I averaged a double-double, and it was an amazing time. You know, I had so much fun with my teammates. So I love the game, and I am ready to play. I'm prepared to play. So I know I'm 34 years old, and I think I will be the best draft pick in WNBA history, literally.
We know that there have been meetings between kind of the legal authorities, some of the owners of the teams, to talk about this. What do you think should happen here?
So there's other major sports league obviously closed that loophole. You know, they added like a biological, female or born female in their collective bargaining. But when I looked at them at WNBA, they didn't have any kind of, reference that says biological or anything like that. So I was like, and all the coaches, I was watching this game, and I believe the coach of the Minnesota, right, came out with a trans kids belong. So I was like, if there's no rule against this, if all the coaches are okay with it, think about how much money I can bring. Think about all the endorsement deals.
Which I got to run, but he is right. The endorsement deals and the money that do you know how many points he'll be scoring? You know how many dunks? He'll be just dunking on women every play. It would be the most fascinating game. And if they drafted him and he played in the game, they will sell the stadium out. I will go to the game. I will fly to watch him play in person. Dunking on these girls from the free throw line. All right. I love you guys. Hey, post-production, Nick, y'all, play that clip of that ghetto girl at that press conference cussing and acting a fool, saying they gay for throwing dildos on the thing. Love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching the show. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We out of here.